Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Let us start this next edition of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrt. Before we start, let us have our Mangalacharanam prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Once again, a very warm welcome to all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Let us continue from where we left off last time. And as we read Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrt, we can definitely feel that Srila Prabhupada is hand-holding all of us. He disappeared from our material eyes in the year 1977, but he is very much present. And anyone who sincerely takes up Srila Prabhupada's books to read or to hear Srila Prabhupada's lectures or the lectures of those acharyas who follow strictly in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. And then we try to implement to the best of our ability what we have learned in our life. Then we can very much see the hand of Srila Prabhupada guiding us at every step. And when we have such a pure devotee guiding our steps, we can rest assured that whatever happens to us is for our own good only. There can be no other interpretation for this. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saying that actually in this material world, whether you call something auspicious or inauspicious, it is both inauspicious one. Everything about this material world is inauspiciousness. Actually, what distinguishes the material world from the spiritual world? Devotees, would you like to try? In the context of what I have just mentioned, what distinguishes material world from the spiritual world? Hare Krishna.
Temporary and permanence, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. So can we try to?
Faith, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Faith, ma'am, Prabhuji. Having or not having faith.
Okay, yeah, fine. That's good. Yes. See, the point that what you say is true, but what the point I want to make is actually material world is dead, you know. So death is not a very auspicious thing. The spiritual world, every little thing is conscious. Even a particle of sand or a piece of rock or the droplet of a water, everything in the spiritual world is completely conscious. And the Supreme Lord has created his external energy as a reflection which doesn't have life of its own. So death is inauspicious, correct? And the material energy displays actions like life because the Supreme Lord has impregnated the souls into this material world. Had the souls not come into the material world, it would be a dead place, like a crematorium. So what is auspicious about a crematorium? And we have entered into this place by our wish, which has been facilitated by Krishna, to try and enjoy to the best of our ability, because we want to be away from Krishna. So this is the best that can be offered to us. Krishna is all life, Sat, Chit, Ananda, but we have rejected him. We don't want to be subservient to the Lord because I don't know. This has not been explained in great detail, but what is explained is we turned away from Krishna. For some reason, we turned away from Krishna, then immediately Maya captured us. We thought this is a place where I can enjoy, I can control, I can become proprietor, and I'll be the master of everything I survey. So in that mood, the soul has come to the wrong place, which is a dead place. Everything here is dead, actually dead. Our body is dead. Our body is dead. The three modes are dead. The mind, intelligence, ego, the entire subtle body is also dead. Everything about this material world is death only. Only living thing is apareyam itaствanyam prakritim vitti me param jiva bhutam. The jiva is the only thing which is conscious in this material. And foolishly, out of illusion, this jiva is trying to enjoy here, which is the completely wrong place to try. So this is the place of inauspiciousness. We have come to the crematorium by mistake. Everything here is death, death. The stench of death, they say, no? The stench of death that is all around us. Every day we are saying death, 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 death. How many wars, how many accidents, how many mishaps are happening all around us. One moment people are very happily boarding a flight, next moment they are all dead. They have not even had a proper takeoff. They are dead. And people who are peacefully going about their job on the ground in a hostel, they are also suddenly killed. So much of fuel is dropped on them and then they are burned to death. Maybe they were drowned in the fuel or they burned in the fuel. We don't know. So horrible life here in the material world. So everything here is inauspicious only. But if anyone becomes a devotee of Lord Chaitanya, that's what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, then the inauspicious becomes auspicious. So in this material world, whether you call something auspicious or inauspicious, both are inauspicious. But when you turn to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and take his shelter, then even the inauspicious becomes auspicious. So this is how we should understand our existence in this material world. And so much to our good fortune, Srila Prabhupada has come and is extending a supporting hand that, come, I will take you back home, back to Godhead. So these are the things that we'll be seeing now. How amazingly, untiringly, Srila Prabhupada is continuing his work in this world. So last time, we saw Prabhupada interacting with George Harrison. Prabhupada is in London now. The Rath Yatra has already taken place. Prabhupada is staying in the Bhakti Vedanta manor, which has been donated by George Harrison, the famous Beatle singer. And he's now coming to meet Srila Prabhupada. In a very humble mood, he's telling Srila Prabhupada, it is your house. Prabhupada is telling him, Prabhupada, when he comes to Prabhupada, we have not discussed this, no, last week?
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So this is where we are starting now. George Harrison.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
Prabhuji, last week I missed your session, Prabhuji, because of the change. I checked your YouTube channel; it's not uploaded there. Any way I can get a recording, Prabhu?
Yeah. I will send you the playlist, that link.
Okay, Prabhu.
So, sometimes I have missed one or two recordings, but last week has been recorded, I'm sure. So
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
So here, George Harrison is approaching Prabhupada in his manor, which has been donated to ISKCON. Now it has become ISKCON property. In a mood similar to Prabhupada's disciples. See, he is like a patron for all outside people. George Harrison is like a patron. He appreciates Srila Prabhupada. He supports him, assists him, helps him, because he's a very rich man. Prabhupada is not having much wealth, and he has a movement, he has a mission, and George Harrison is helping him. But he is a famous pop singer. In his own right, he is famous all over the world, commands a lot of respect and wealth and fame, all that. But he's not like that in his mind. The world is thinking like that. And Prabhupada is saying, let it be, don't disturb this image. Now he's approaching Srila Prabhupada in a submissive mood, similar to that of Prabhupada's disciples who are shaven-headed. They have a shika, they are wearing dhoti, kurta, they are wearing kantimala, they are wearing tilak in 12 different places in their body. They're having a bead bag in their neck, around the neck, and they're constantly chanting. In a similar mood, George Harrison is approaching Srila Prabhupada. Outside world doesn't know, but he comes, and together they take prasadam. What prasadam they take? A special lunch of samosas, halwa, vegetables, sour cream, and puris. So while they are enjoying the prasadam, Prabhupada mentions to him that certain Pandavas in Vrindavan, they eat too much. Once one ate so much prasadam that he was practically dying. But he assured his son, at least I am dying from eating and not from starving. So Prabhupada is joking. To die of starvation is inglorious. To die of overeating is glorious. Like that. Prabhupada smiled while he spoke to George Harrison, and Prabhupada acknowledged his donation very gratefully. Then Prabhupada said, have you seen my room? And then Prabhupada added, it is actually your house, but my room. Prabhupada said, it is your house, but my room. George Harrison said, no. He protested, preferring the mood of a humble disciple. And he said, it is Krishna's house and your room. So such a nice devotee has become. I'm sure all of you have read his preface to Krishna book, correct? All of you have Krishna book, and all of you have read the preface. What an amazing realization is that. After so many years of being in ISKCON, I don't have such deep realizations what George Harrison. That means he has received the full mercy of Srila Prabhupada to be able to write such a foreword to Krishna book. Not only he donated for the printing cost of that book, but Prabhupada said, let him write the foreword. He very humbly denied. He said, no, I'm not qualified to write a foreword. Prabhupada said, no, he should write. And then he writes. This recollects, when you see Bhagavatam, many places, Dhruva Maharaj, a small child, he has suddenly got darshan of Lord Vishnu. And he's so welling up with joy by just having darshan. The Lord is in front of him. Up to now, the Lord was in his heart. Now the Lord is in front of him as he opens his eyes. There is so much passionate desire rising in his heart. I want to glorify him. See, just remember this. When you see the Lord, you will have such a the desire welling up in you that I want to glorify. And how can I glorify? How can I find the words? The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Master of both the material creation and the spiritual world, he's standing right in front of you. And you are so tiny, so insignificant. How will you glorify him? But the Lord is the Paramatma also. No? He knows that here is a soul who wants to glorify me, but is lacking the words. And it's a child. So the Lord touches him with his conch. And then he starts pouring out amazing realizations as prayers. So like that, when we see George Harrison's foreword in Krishna book, we immediately realize he has been touched by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, how can such thing can be written? It was not ghost written for him. It is his own words. Yeah. Anyone has read it? I'm sure all of you have read it. Anyone not read it?
We have read Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah, all of you have read it. Yeah. How amazing. What deep realizations. So George is saying it is Krishna's house. He has complete consciousness that everything is Krishna's property. I am simply a servant. So when George told Prabhupada that because of coming to Krishna consciousness, I am losing many friends. Right? He must have had so many friends, correct? George Harrison's friends, beyond numbering. There must be so many. He said, I'm actually losing friends. Prabhupada said, don't worry. Prabhupada said, he read to George Harrison from Gita. And Prabhupada said, Krishna can be known only by devotional service. Krishna can be known only by devotional service. Anyone can chant this shloka? Which shloka is this? He can be known only by devotional service.
Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Is that Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Correct. Absolutely.
Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Jnanan vyattami tatvataka tato mam tatoto jnatvat vishate tadanantaram. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Prabhupada opens his mouth, only Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita comes up. Whether Prabhupada writes or speaks, it is there. Only you have to know where it is. But Prabhupada only speaks scripture. That is a sign of great wisdom, but also it's a sign of great humility. We are not supposed to preach our own words. I have read it, now I can know. We have to only speak from the scriptures. Whatever you speak, you should know that it is backed by the scriptures. So that is how a devotee should develop. And not that I want to develop my speaking skills and I speak any nonsense and impress people. That's not the way. Whatever we speak, it should be solidly founded on the scriptures. So we should know. Even though we may not immediately recollect where it is always ideal that when we speak, we know where it is there in the scripture. But if we don't know, but still, at least we should know confidently that I am not speaking my mental speculation, that I am speaking only from scriptures. So Prabhupada said, and George said in the future, George is predicting, in the future, ISKCON will be so large, it will require executive management. Do you understand what is executive management? He's saying professional management. Yeah. That means you have to recruit professionals from IIMs, IITs, REC, NIT, like that. Professional management will be required because ISKCON will become so big. This is George's estimation of the future because the movement is growing so much money is being handled Every day, so much money coming, so much money going. Worldwide movement spanning across different continents, different cultures, different languages. How would you manage? One corporate in one country, people are having so much difficulty to manage. So much cross cultures come, different caste systems, different religious societies, and so many different things. And people have so much problem, and different generations of people. But so he's saying you may need professional management. Prabhupada says, I have divided the world into 12 zones with 12 representatives. Okay, this is Prabhupada's management. 12 zones, 12 representatives. Then Prabhupada says, as long as they keep to the spiritual principles, Krishna will help them. This is how ISKCON has to run. As long as they keep to the spiritual principles, Krishna will help them. I have simply divided the globe among 12 of my senior disciples. And if they follow the spiritual principles, Krishna will help. Before leaving, George assured Prabhupada that he would help him increase the number of his temples. Later on, Prabhupada commented, see Prabhupada's comment later on, George is getting inward hope from Krishna. So that means he started listening to the Lord within. The Lord is speaking, and George Harrison is able to hear him. So, see, just an ordinary hippie, a pop singer, he has received Srila Prabhupada's mercy, and now he's going back home. So that is so great, is an association, one moment's association with a pure devotee. One day, one old acquaintance came. This person, I hope all of you will remember, whoever has been with us from the beginning. Allen Ginsberg. Anyone recollects this name, Allen Ginsberg?
Yes, Prabhuji.
He has a huge beard. He was there right from the first temple of Srila Prabhupada in New York. And at that time itself, he was a very famous among hippies. He was the one who was recommending to hippies to take the drug called LSD. And he says, by LSD, you can expand your mind. You can have spiritual experiences just by taking this drug. And at that time, it was very famous in the hippie world. And Allen Ginsberg was endorsing that drug. But same time, he would come to Srila Prabhupada's classes. He, not more for the classes, more for Prabhupada's kirtan. And he would bring his own instruments, he would sing. And he was so famous that the hippies would come just to look at him. What, this man is coming to Prabhupada's programs. And from that time, he has maintained a very close, very affectionate relationship with Srila Prabhupada. Even when Srila Prabhupada went to San Francisco, the Mantra Rock dance, there also Allen Ginsberg was there. And he was doing kirtan on the stage. Then Prabhupada came on. So they had such a close relation. Very difficult to understand these things. The Allen Ginsberg is still the same old man. At least for external vision, he seems to be the same person. But he has cultivated such an intimate relationship with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada loves him. So when someone is loved by Srila Prabhupada, his going back home is guaranteed. But externally we see he is still that same hippie, even though he has great regard for Srila Prabhupada. Now we will see what happens. Allen Ginsberg came wearing denims, suspenders, and a faded shirt. And he was also carrying a little Indian-made harmonium. Prabhupada asked him, are you still chanting Hare Krishna? Allen replied, yes, I still chant Hare Krishna, but I also chant other things. One of the things, Hare Krishna. Allen asked if Prabhupada would like to hear his chanting and playing. Prabhupada nodded, said, okay, go ahead. Allen began playing his harmonium and chanting Om. He is vibrating Om along with his harmonium. With each recitation of the word Om, his voice went deeper. Om, like that. When the chanting was over, Prabhupada began to laugh. And Prabhupada said, you can chant whatever you want to chant, Prabhupada said. But just keep chanting Hare Krishna. As long as you are chanting Hare Krishna, then everything else is all right. This is a concession Prabhupada is giving to Ginsberg. We should not take it that, Oh, Prabhupada was told like that, I will also follow. See, we have this great tendency, we are always looking for some concession from whatever source. And if something else comes from Prabhupada's mouth, then we want to take it. Even though Prabhupada would have told in so many other places the opposite, but we will pick up, no, this suits me more. So Prabhupada said this, and we will go vehemently argue with others also. No, I have heard Kalanadi Das told me in that class that we can chant other mantras also. They have to just chant Hare Krishna, everything else. So please don't go with that understanding. So these are very special relationships. What Srila Prabhupada has with Allen Ginsberg. There is a heart-to-heart love which is there. It may take a long time for us to cultivate that kind of love for our spiritual master. So Prabhupada then allowed many devotees to join them for a big blissful kirtan. Afterwards, there was big blissful Hare Krishna kirtan. And Ginsberg was also there. Then George Harrison brought another famous pop singer of that time, musician Donovan. He was another famous singer. Again, must be a teenager or in the early 20s like that. He came with 2 girlfriends, not 1, 2 girlfriends. And they were in mini skirts. And there was an awkward silence before Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada spoke that there is a verse in the Vedas that says music is the highest form of education. So you know what Prabhupada is driving? These are musicians, and Prabhupada is telling, according to Vedas, music is the highest form of education. So please learn Krishna consciousness and use your music for spreading this knowledge among others. This is where Prabhupada is coming from. So Prabhupada started like this. And Prabhupada began to explain how a musician could serve Krishna. He said, you should do like your friend George. Prabhupada said, we will give you the theme and you can write songs. Prabhupada said that anything, even your money, can be used in the service of Krishna. Immediately, the girlfriend, one of them, she interrupted, but money is material. Prabhupada immediately told her, what do you know what is material and spiritual? Just he cut her off. What do you know, material and spiritual? And again he turned to Donovan, the singer. He said, do you understand? And he humbly replied that I am a thick-headed person. I am trying to understand like that. Immediately the girlfriend leaned into his ear and spoke something, whisper. Immediately this man got up. And he said, well, we have to go now. He did not wait to hear what Prabhupada is going to speak. And they went out. And Prabhupada insisted, at least let them have some prasadam. Eat some prasadam before him. Later on, after they left, Prabhupada started laughing along with his disciples. Why laugh? Prabhupada said, she was thinking, ... Prabhupada left a gap. She was thinking, and the sentence was completed by the disciples. Prabhupada said, you complete the sentence. And the disciples said, she was thinking that if Krishna gets him, then she will lose him. She is afraid. That's why she is telling money is material. So Prabhupada knew. And he saw this as a hopeless case. He gave prasadam and sent them away. And Prabhupada very much liked this idea of Shyam Sundar bringing VIPs to meet Srila Prabhupada and having meetings. So Prabhupada said, in future, wherever I go, whatever may be the other programs, but this practice of bringing VIPs to meet me should continue. So that at least if some of them will turn Krishna conscious, then that will be a great benefit to the movement. Of course, the individual also will be benefited, and also the movement will be benefited. 1 month, Srila Prabhupada stayed in Bhaktivedanta manor. And still, Janmastami was away. Still, Janmastami yet to come. And Prabhupada said, I will install the deities at Janmastami time. So, in between, on Bhagavan Prabhu, we have already heard about Bhagavan Prabhu. When Prabhupada went to Hawaii and all that. Now, Bhagavan Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple, he's asking him, please come to Paris. There is Radha Krishna deities we are installing in Paris, and you should install that. So Prabhupada went to Paris. This is August 9, 1973. Prabhupada is in Paris. And as soon as Prabhupada went, there was a city hall reception. There was a big reception for Srila Prabhupada. the mayor of the city of Paris had come, and big officials had also come. And in the presence of the mayor and the government officials, Prabhupada spoke. What did he say? If the government leaders do not teach the citizens genuine God consciousness, Prabhupada did not use Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said, the leaders, the government officials must teach genuine God consciousness to people. Otherwise, they are not responsible leaders. In the presence of these people, Prabhupada spoke. And next day, the newspaper reported this and said, Prabhupada even criticized Napoleon in that lecture. Napoleon is like God for them because, France is godless. French Revolution was almost like, the communist type of setup, and they are not godly people. So Napoleon is also like that. So Napoleon is their God. And next thing, what happened? The temple, they went to the temple in Paris, and 4 foot high Radha Krishna deities were there. 4 foot high deities. Prabhupada had Pradyumna chant the mantras. Pradyumna is a Sanskrit scholar in Prabhupada's team. And he chanted the mantras. And then they did Abhishek with different substances on the deities. And Prabhupada was sitting in his Vyasasana and giving directions how to do. And Bhagavan Prabhu was assisting. At one point of time, Bhagavan turned around and he saw Prabhupada was standing right next to him. And Prabhupada was also taking from his hand and doing Abhishek. Prabhupada came out of Vyasasana and he started. And in his own hands, he smeared the substances on the lotus-like face of Srimati Radharani. After the installation was over, Prabhupada did the Arati and Bhagavan assisted him. After the installation, all the devotees went to Prabhupada's room and very anxiously requested him, please name our deities. Now, please very carefully listen. I'm just reading Prabhupada's own words. Prabhupada sat back in his chair and said that the deities will be known as Radha Paris Iswara. Paris Iswara. In London, London Iswara. Here, Paris Iswara. Then Prabhupada went on to say that in India, people look to England for education and they look to Paris for sense gratification. Paris is totally a godless place. So, sense gratification. And England for education. Then Prabhupada began to laugh and said that Krishna has come to Paris. So when Indians come to Paris, Krishna also come to Paris in order to get some gopis. Some French girls, gopis here means some French girls Krishna wants to get, because the faces of the women in Paris are considered the most beautiful. Then Prabhupada added, Radharani is so beautiful, just like a Paris girl. And Krishna has come here to find out this most beautiful of all the gopis. So Krishna has come to Paris for Radharani. Guru was saying, this most beautiful of all the gopis. So he is Paris Ishvara. Then August 15th, Prabhupada came back to London from Paris. And there is some mail from India. What is the mail? There is some complication with regard to the land in Hyderabad. Prabhupada got a donation of land in Hyderabad. Prabhupada got a donation of land in Vrindavan, like different places. So Hyderabad, there is a problem. So Prabhupada wrote to his disciple there, be very careful. Don't create another Bombay-like situation. Take care that documentation is done properly. And at the same time, he got a message from Vrindavan that construction work is going on very nicely. And Prabhupada wrote to them, please tax your brain how it can be carried out very nicely. This Vrindavan project is very, very important. I am pleased to know that you are absorbed in the execution of the project. May Krishna give you the intelligence to do it rightly. Then he wrote to Hawaii one letter where he says, I am sorry, my reply to your letter was delayed because I was in Juhu and there was a big problem with Mr. Yen. Now he is dead and gone, but still the documentation is still not complete. But I hope everything will become on. Then Prabhupada is writing to Tamal Krishna Maharaj in Bombay. And there Prabhupada is showing I am aware of the problems that is still going on there. Then Prabhupada wrote to him, if Mrs. N, even now, if Mrs. N is not going to sell us the land, then what do we do next? You have to think about it. We have already filed a criminal case against her for attempting to take us out of the land. And what happened to that case, to the criminal case? The idea is that if she is not going to sell the land, and at the same time, she will not return our money with damages and interest, and occasionally she will try to force us out of the land, then what steps we have to take? Prabhupada is not giving the solution, he's making them think. She has given us so much trouble and botheration. And then Prabhupada wrote to Mayapur, no, Mayapur also building has to come. No, it's already under construction. Yes, Mayapur construction must be completely finished before I return. So I will come only after building is complete. Prabhupada. The next time I come, there must be no more workers or carpenters with their tack, tack, tack sound. I would have continued to stay in Mayapur, but the hammering sounds drove me away. When you are completely finished, I will go. Otherwise, not. So Prabhupada is giving them a motivation to finish it fast. And Prabhupada answered dozens of letters from America, giving clarifications to the devotees. And in America, now book distribution is becoming a very big thing. So here in India, it is a temple building. And there in America, Prabhupada is focusing on book distribution. So like this, it's going on, different strategies in different places. And they are constantly asking guidance from Prabhupada. How should we go about this book distribution? So many crucial questions are asked and Prabhupada is giving reply through letters. And for the disciples, only Prabhupada can answer these questions. Only Prabhupada can solve these problems. So how important was book distribution? So these are the questions coming. Some of the questions are listed here. How important is book distribution to you, Prabhupada? Could the devotees abandon their robes, dhoti, kurta and all that? Can they abandon these robes and wear regular Western clothes to better distribute books in public, not for any other reason? If it will help to distribute books better, then we come out of this dress and wear the regular jeans, denim. Next, was chanting on the streets more important than book distribution? What about taking buses and vans around the country? Can we travel with deities in the vans? Can we take deities in the van? The devotees generally mentioned their own viewpoints. So when they write, they say, Prabhupada, we feel strongly that we should do like this. In the letter, they will make strong recommendations to Prabhupada. And yet, they respectfully awaited his definitive reply. See, they are presenting their viewpoints strongly in all these cases. But very humbly, they wait for what Prabhupada will do. Now, this is a lesson for us. In the propagation of Krishna consciousness, we should be very forceful also in coming up with ideas and suggestions, how to push the movement. You know, Prabhupada always says, keep pushing the movement on. Keep the ball rolling, like the Prabhupada would say. So now, we have to be always using our creative instincts. But same time, final decision is with the management, with the leaders, with Srila Prabhupada. Like that. So one should have initiative, at the same time, humility. It is not that someone is very successful in executing a project in ISKCON, but in the process, he is rubbing many senior devotees or even junior devotees on the wrong side, creating bad blood, creating mental agony to other people. It's not very good, actually. We should know how to do the project as well as people. Both the P's are important. Projects are important, people are important. But we have to choose, and people are more important. But we should have the smartness, intelligence to balance both. Krishna conscious movement, now Satsuru Maharaj is right, was now very big, with potential for growing much bigger. And within ISKCON, Prabhupada's will was so powerful. So ISKCON is big, growing bigger. Within ISKCON, Prabhupada's will was so powerful that a single letter from him will establish a policy for years to come. Prabhupada mentioned in one letter to one temple to one person. That became policy for years to come. That was how powerfully Prabhupada controlled. Imagine if you have started a corporate in some place and then you have started opening more and more branches and more new people are joining. And it is expanding into a worldwide company with different cultures, different languages, distances, huge distances. You are sitting in one place. Maximum you are traveling, how much you can. Imagine controlling a corporate. And here Prabhupada is controlling a whole philosophy which is totally alien to outside India. Even within India, it is alien. But outside India, the whole culture of Krishna consciousness is alien. But still, just by writing, let's see how much power Krishna has endowed Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada completely surrendered. Krishna is empowering Prabhupada to conduct the organization so powerful. So, single letter would establish a policy. Prabhupada appeared to be sitting quietly in his room at the manor. If you see, oh, in one room, Prabhupada is sitting quietly. He's following his daily routine. Like what? Bathing, eating, meeting evening guests. At the same time, he was directing thousands of young men and women all over the world. Prabhupada is sitting in the manor, in his room, taking bath, taking prasadam, meeting people, but simultaneously, the whole world is spinning around him, revolving around him. He is the center of the whole wheel of ISKCON, rotating around the whole world. He is guiding it from there. Thousands of men and women are taking his instructions, and he is sending them into action in the war against Maya. There's a war going on across the world, and the general is sitting in manner peacefully, waking up early in the morning walks, brushing his teeth, taking bath, taking prasadam, attending temple programs, meeting devotees like that. But he's directing the whole war across. So Prabhupada is replying to some of these letters. I'm reading. This is the letter. There is no objection to going in Western clothes in order to distribute my books. It is not necessary that we always wear the robes, but we should always keep shikha and tilak. Prabhupada is making some compromise, but sticking to some points. Okay? Shikha and tilak. However, a wig or a hat may be worn as you discussed. Sometimes we don't want to expose our shaven head also. Then Prabhupada is allowing a wig also. Your head should be shaven, but you can put a wig on that. You can cover your shikha. We have to take whatever is the favorable position for executing Krishna consciousness. Do not forget our principles, but sometimes we may adopt such means in order to distribute books, because the transformation will come through the books. Somehow or other distribute books. And if you can impress people a little to chant, then it does not matter about your dress. So now we should not follow the Ardha Kukuta Nyaya. You know, Ardha Kukuta Nyaya, I have already explained to you what it is. Anyone can explain what is Ardha Kukuta Nyaya? Here it is. Nobody knows. Nyaya means logic. In Sanskrit, Nyaya means logic. So Ardha means half. Kukuta means hen. So this is called half hen logic. Now, anyone understands this? I'm waiting.
I think, Prabhuji, the hen was giving golden egg. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then he thought that why the hen is required a head, so he just chopped off the head. And,
Why he chopped off the head?
he thought that the head is of use.
No, head is demanding food.
He has to
Yeah,
feed the head.
Feed the mouth, and he has to collect the egg from behind. So he says, I'm feeding the front unnecessarily. I am getting the egg from behind only. Let me cut it. So that would be a serious mistake. We will lose. Similarly, now Prabhupada is giving some concessions, but we should know for what purpose. We should not always try to take advantage. Oh, Prabhupada has told that we need not always wear the devotee robes. For what purpose? We don't know. So we should be very careful in all these things. by being very sincere, by being very surrendered, then we will know how to approach these things. These are exceptions that Prabhupada is making. Exceptions don't make the rule. Exceptions actually prove the rule. So we should not take these advantages unless we have a similar situation where we are in a position to distribute books very successfully if we can dress ourselves a little different. So that's what. So devotees continue to request clarification as to how far, see this, to how far the ends justified the means in fulfilling Rupa's order to distribute books profusely. So end and means both are important. But sometimes in order to meet the ends, some adjustment in the means is allowed. But in the process, we should not lose sight of the means altogether. Where it is required, you do that. And then again, you come back to your normal. Come back to your normal. Where it is required, you may wear Western clothes. But then you have to again come back to your dress. Yeah? Because see, this is Prabhupada talking about Western culture. In India, unfortunately, Western culture has taken over. But this is America and England and France, where the culture is totally different. Unless Prabhupada had not come, they would not have known about these things. So please remember these things and try to appreciate what is happening between Prabhupada and his disciples. Prabhupada is an acharya. He is adjusting things. He is not compromising principles, but he is adjusting things according to time, place, circumstances. But they will always remain as exceptions. They are not the rules. We should not call them as rules. They will always remain exceptions. Just like the Christians, the other day we were seeing, God made a covenant with Noah. You know Noah, all of you know the story of Noah in the Bible. When the world was coming to an end, God authorized Noah to save the world by taking a ship out. And in the ship, all the seeds and the various species were all taken in the ship. And then eventually, the flooding, the whole world was flooded. When the flood subsided, this ark was called Noah's ark. From that, again, all the seeds were propagated, the crops, animals, everything came like that. So at that time, there was a scarcity of food for these people. At that time, the Lord told them, okay, now I permit you to eat some meat because you don't have any crops. So like that. So that Christian's code, see, the Lord has made a covenant with Noah. See how cheating, propensity people are. Taking advantage of something said in some place out of context and trying to take advantage. This means they don't actually love God or they don't like to serve God. They don't want to follow the instructions sincerely. They want to take some shortcuts. We should not do that. So regarding the question, this again Prabhupada's written. You have raised about traveling Sankirtan parties and selling of books. Yes, we want money. So that is a real preaching, selling books. Who can speak better than the books? At least whoever buys, he will look over. The real preaching is selling books. Prabhupada is repeating. You should know the tactic, how to sell without irritating. What your lecture will do for 3 minutes. But if he reads one page, his life may be turned. We don't want to irritate anyone. However. If he goes away by your aggressive tactics, then you are nonsense. And it is your failure. Neither you could sell a book, neither he would remain. But if he buys a book, that is a real successful preaching. That is a certificate of my Guru Maharaj. If someone, brahmachari, would sell a 1 paisa magazine, if one of our brahmacharis would go and sell a few copies, he would be very glad and say, oh, you are so nice. So distribution of literature is our real preaching. Now, if you cannot handle the matter nicely, that is your fault. But the success of your preaching will be substantiated by how many books are sold. Anything you want to sell, you have to canvass a little. So he gives some money for the service of Krishna. That is his good luck. And he gets the chance to read some transcendental knowledge. But if you only irritate and he goes away, that is your less intelligence. Like that. Very elaborately as explained about book distribution. What can be done and what cannot be. And how important is book distribution to the movement. And how we must use our intelligence always in the right way to push on. Prabhupada's instructions were so important to his disciples that a letter from him was as effective as a personal visit. When the letter comes, they will feel as though Prabhupada has come. By such letters, he maintained the lives and affairs of his disciples all over the world. Each day in the late morning, he would have his secretary to read out loudly each incoming letter, and usually, immediately he will dictate the replies. He had often said that Vani of the Guru is more important than Vapu or personal presence. Thus, by his letters, he established and illuminated the path of Krishna consciousness for his sincere followers. Prabhupada's letters is Vani. So, serving the letters of Prabhupada, disciples got more merit, even though they were not able to be in the personal presence of him. So, this is a message for us. So, through Prabhupada's books, so Prabhupada's letters and Prabhupada's books, they are all Vani of Srila. So, we should not think that, oh, had I been there when Prabhupada was around, I would have become a poor Guru. It's not. Vani is very, very powerful. And Vani is more important according. In America now, Prabhupada's preaching was primarily through distribution of books. See, that's what. Two different strategies for India and America. In India, it is temples, through establishing temples. In America, through book distribution. Yet, both the methods were one and the same to Prabhupada. And although his vision encompassed the whole world, he felt and described himself as only the humble servant of his spiritual master. On the one side, he was a great spiritual master for the whole world, but personally, he always said, I am a humble servant of my spiritual master. Whether sitting on the lawn of the manor and teasing one of the little children, or directing one of his lieutenants to drop thousands and millions of books into the laps of the conditioned souls, carpet bombing, into the laps of every conditioned living being, they have to drop the books of Prabhupada, which are like bombs. Whether meditating with great energy on the next phrase in his Srimad Bhagavatam purpose, Prabhupada will be translating so much. Prabhupada will be observed. He chooses the midnight because it is a time which is more silent. Even a little sound would disturb Prabhupada's meditations. So he will be meditating on what is the best word to put. This is so painstakingly Prabhupada has written the books, and we read it so tough. Just we run through pages. How much care Prabhupada is taking to do his approach. Or Prabhupada was worrying about Mrs. N. What is the latest conspiracy in Bombay? Mr. N is gone. Now Mrs. N, what she will do next? But in all these things, his aim was to serve his Guru Maharaj. And suddenly there was a phone call from Bombay inviting Prabhupada to come. That Mrs. N wants to come and settle finally. And Giriraj Maharaj had got a new lawyer, Mr. Vakil, who felt that Prabhupada should be present now and we can make the settlement. There was one more ISKCON lawyer. No, ISKCON is having many lawyers. Chandawal. He also said, Prabhupada come immediately. So Giriraj immediately telephoned Prabhupada, begging him, please come and settle the matter with Mrs. N. And Prabhupada agreed. He would remain in London one more week until Janmastami. He will complete Janmastami. Then he will return to Bombay. Now this is August 21, 1973. Indian ambassador to England, Mr. Rasgotra, he attended the Janmastami. Indian ambassador in UK. And he introduced Srila Prabhupada to the audience, expressing his appreciation of his great work. Then Prabhupada spoke, describing the advent of Krishna as the key. The world is troubled, but the key to bringing peace is the message of Krishna, the advent of Krishna. Prabhupada said, especially in India, we have got so much asset for understanding God. Everything is there, ready-made, but we won't accept. So what is the remedy for such disease? We are searching for peace, but we won't accept anything which is actually giving us peace. This is our disease. Prabhupada is basically talking to the Indian audience, including the ambassador. So the Krishna consciousness movement is trying to awaken the dormant Krishna consciousness in everyone's heart. Otherwise, how could these Europeans and Americans and other countrymen who have never even heard of Krishna 4 or 5 years ago, they may be taking to Krishna consciousness so seriously. He is telling them that. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is there in everyone's heart. It is already there. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Shadya Kabunan Shravanadi Siddha Chitta Kurilevudan. Krishna consciousness is dormant in the heart of every living soul, whether American or Indian, because soul is not American, soul is not. It is there. And Shravanadi Suddha Chitta, by doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc., consciousness gets purified and then it appears. It is there, but it is covered. It's, in Prabhupada recited from Brahma Samhita, describing how Krishna is eternally there in Krishna Loka. Krishna is, Prabhupada said, Krishna is in Krishna Loka, but he's also everywhere. And if you are a devotee, then you can catch him. If you want to catch him, he comes forward 10 times more than you deserve. You want Krishna, then Krishna comes forward. Not that Krishna runs away. You want Krishna, then Krishna comes towards you. You don't want Krishna, then he turns away. Like that. So he will come. He comes forward 10 times more than you are deserved. Therefore, we simply have to receive him. What we have to do is to receive him. This deity worship in the temple means worshipping Krishna. He was very kind. He has very kindly accepted to assume a form which you can handle. So the deity form is Krishna only. The holy name is Krishna only. Like this we should know. Paraphernalia is Krishna. Like the name, form, qualities, casting, everything. And Archa Vigraha. Therefore, do not think that we have installed a marble statue. No, because this is England. People, actually Christianity is against any idol worship. They say this is very, very important that there should be no idols only, both Christianity and Islam. But now I go on the street, in Chennai, so many churches are there. And in every church, you see on the top, there are statues only. So many statues, and they are increasing. More and more statues are coming. And you look inside the church also on a Sunday, there are many statues. But Prabhupada is telling we are not worshipping statues. Right? The rascals will say they are heathens. There is a word, pagan, heathen. These words are used in Christianity for people who worship either nature or idols. No, we are worshipping Krishna personally. Krishna has kindly assumed this form because we cannot see the gigantic Krishna or how Krishna is everywhere. Gigantic Krishna means Virat Rupa. We cannot see what Arjuna could see. So remain 24 hours a day in Krishna's service. This is the purpose of installing the deity. So in one line, Prabhupada said, why deity? 24 hours you should be serving him. Yes, opportunities are there, 24 hours. So like that. Like continue or only 2 minutes are there. So next week we'll start from Bombay. Prabhupada is reaching Bombay on September 15, 1973. And in this visit, I will keep it as a suspense for you to find out next week. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo ananta koti vaishnavavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupad ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Pranams. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandat pranams, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, our Bhagavad Gita class is always on Fridays only, Prabhuji. Has it been changed, Prabhuji?
Yeah, we will have it on Friday only.
Okay,
Yeah, is it
Prabhuji.
okay? We'll have it on Friday. See, actually today, I announced something and I changed it again because sometimes I get confused with my timetable. So I have other classes. I have offline classes which we are conducting here for a few, children's classes my wife is taking and for the parents. So this timing will clash with that. So we changed that. So that is why. So I'm really grateful to all of you because you are adjusting with my last minute changes and somehow you all managed to join. I'm really grateful to all of you for extending your association to me. I will try my best to fix the timings on a non-changeable basis. I think this we can maintain. I think sometime during this week I will finalize everything and let you know. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.